Really true.
Okay. Welcome back. You're watching On The Sport. And before we continue, let's take you back to our poll question for the evening. And we are asking, is government doing enough to rein in the corrupt? I repeat, is government doing enough to rein in the corrupt? SMS your yes or no answer by first typing On The Sport, then send your SMS to 8778. We'll give you the poll result towards the end of tonight's show. Professor, let's look at something that seems to bedevil this government, and it is multi-party democracy. There is a notion, not just by observers in this country, but also members of this government, including General Tafiri, who seems to say the problem of going multi-party, we as a country were not ready to be a multi-party democracy or even into multi-party dispensation. We still continue to operate as a one-party state. Is that true?
The country has been ready for a long, long time. The country, remember, we were a multi-party country even at independence, 1965, actually before that. Multipartyism came in around about 1959. However, what has happened is that this country is ready for multipartyism. It would enjoy multipartyism because in a country which has got a diverse population as we have, people with different ideas, conservatives, radicals, and so on, only multi-party politics can keep it sustained and in peace. However, what happened was the movement came in 1986, and it was a movement. By the way, I still am very proud to have been a pillar of the movement.
And you still say you are a member of the
movement?
I
am a member of the original Conk movement. I am proud to have been of that, but not of the party. I have never been a member of the National Resistance Movement Party because when it came in, I was a judge, so I couldn't have belonged it. But in any case, I'm glad I never did because it is a very different creature from what the National Resistance Movement was. However, let me tell you what happened. Our constitution, even today, our constitution as amended in 2005, still talks about the concept of movement being an alternative to multipartyism or any other democratic and national party. We have kept that. Then, when in 2001,
yes,
the movement should have fought on its own as a movement political system, as we called it. And whoever won, whether it was a movement or multi-party politics, would have gone into power and the other one waited for another referendum or another 5 years. The movement actually said, supposing they defeat us, therefore let us ourselves convert ourselves into a political party. The problem in Uganda is not that we are immature or that we're not ready. The problem is that the ruling party does not like multipartyism. That's why my article said they are wolves in sheep clothing as far as democracy is concerned and multipartyism.
How?
Because let me tell you,
yes,
the movement has never conceived that any other party could ever win power in this country, could ever take office. And this is exacerbated by the concept of the movement, calling other political parties enemies. Enemies not only of the people, rather of the party, but of the people. How, in a true multi-party, if the enemy wins, you can never accept them as leaders. You fight them because they are enemies. In a true multi-party system, the ruling party not only respects the others, but expects that one day or other, that other party will come into power. Therefore, we should tolerate them, we should be friendly to them. In case when they are in power, they turn the boot on us. But the movement political party has never conceived that such a situation could arise. That's why the constitution is manipulated. That's why there is more corruption. That is why the rule of law is ignored, so that the only one party stays in office. So we are a de facto one-party state, and that party calls all the other aspiring parties enemies of the state. That is the problem.
Okay, Professor, let's move to something that I would really want to pick your view on. The walk to work protests
Yes.
that started off last year with a campaign against the high levels of inflation, and obviously the results of the election was not a key issue for them, but it was also about government and government doing its job, service delivery. You know, what do you take of the walk to work protest?
As an individual Ugandan who is born free and independent, I can assure you I have never comprehended what the walk to work means. Initially, there was some resemblance of logic when they said we are not paid enough, salaries have not coped up with inflation. That I could understand. But as a political movement, I have no idea whatsoever. But for me, it seems to me, looking at what is happening, that it is not getting the FDC very far. If there is a hidden agenda, I don't know what it is. But frankly speaking, as a Ugandan who would like change, who would like to see us governed democratically, I have failed to apprehend the purpose and consequence, if any, of the walk to work. But the police haven't behaved properly either. Let me give you an example.
Yes.
One time, Dr. Besigye said he wanted to go and collect money from his bank.
In Wandagya?
Yes. He was not rioting. There were not many people there. Now, if the police had been well motivated, they should have worked with him slowly, come to town. Then if he didn't go to his bank to draw money, that's when they could have acted. On that day, I live in the other side of town, towards Munyonyo. There were police waiting at the entrance of MP of our area, I forget what, Mashinde West, waiting to arrest him in case he walks. The purpose, what the police have been doing, and I have had take occasion, a confrontation, argument with the Inspector General of Police, Kanyeihamba, whom I respect, who calls me his uncle, and I said, you have overreacted on the walk to work. You seem to react at every move, and the purpose seems to say, or to be, let Besigye and the opposition not be seen to have many followers. Therefore, if we abort their walk to work, even if they are peaceful, not many people will come there.
Okay.
But unfortunately, that has also damaged this government and the police as well.
And finally, on the opposition,
yes.
Do you think we have a credible opposition that can actually take on this government and hold it accountable for its ills?
The funny thing is that the opposition has been disabled by the activities, the negative activities and attitude of the NRM party. It is like saying, I am very powerful and I have a little child, I put it in a hole, and then I put a cover on that hole. Then I say, telling the world, this child will never grow. He has not even surfaced, when actually I am the one who has got a key to the hole where he's buried. So the party, I mean, if you look at these people who are in the FDC, people like Muntu, Ruzindana, if you look at people, are very honorable men. What you are forgetting, they were also pillars of the movement. They founded the movement, and we used to respect them. We used to really listen to them carefully. What has happened to change the messages of the world into evil or into orgasm? They are still the same people, but they have not been enabled to perform maximally as leaders of their respective political parties. That really is what has happened.
And a quick one here on morality. Your friend, Dr. Matembe, does actually say that this country has decayed in terms of morality. Do you seem to agree? You in your statement earlier said, we seem to applaud the corrupt. We seem to applaud those who actually take bribes and seem to actually hate or even disregard or even put aside anyone who will pronounce themselves anti-corruption or even pronounce and make known the corrupt. Is that the kind of society Uganda is?
That's where we have reached, I'm afraid. It is not too late for us to recover or to reverse the trend.
There are those who seem to say that we will need divine intervention. Do you seem to agree that?
Well, you know, the word, rather so we say the affairs of God are very mysterious, and I don't think you can appeal to them. Like at the beginning, you said that we have rescued Rwanda, Burundi, we are peacemakers. Those are not our problems, and I applaud the president for taking that foreign affairs stance. The problems of Uganda are the ones who concern us, and they can only be solved by we Ugandans, nobody from outside. I was amazed that somebody was appealing to the British House of Commons
and the European Parliament.
That is absurd. Even previously, somebody appealed to America. No, that is red herrings. They will never save Uganda. Uganda is for Ugandans. The solution to Ugandans' problems is by Ugandans themselves, by us, not by foreigners.
All right, Professor, let's go back to our poll result for the evening. Viewers, earlier we asked, is government doing enough to rein in the corrupt? The results are in. An overwhelming 95% say yes and 5% say no.
Are you sure it is not the opposite? That the government is doing enough?
Probably the 9th Parliament has raised the bar. And probably the question could be about the 9th Parliament, not about government.
I'm very surprised. It would seem to me that those who like corruption are the ones who answered the question.
We are wrapping up, Professor.
Go on, yes.
Let's talk about you. Let's talk about you and, of course, nothing but your history and your life history. You're putting your history in a book.
It's already finished. It is with printers. And they have even already produced advanced copies.
Yes.
The title of the book was discussed for almost a year between my family, friends, and so forth. They put it and put. And eventually, they came to the title. And it is G.W. Kanyeihamba, The Blessings and Joy of Being Who You Are. The book will be about 500 or so pages, and it should be on the market late next month, possibly, certainly not later than April. And everybody should buy a copy because it is quite sensational, I can tell you. Let me tell you,
yes.
The principal judge,
yes.
The
former
Lord Justice, no,
yes.
yes. Bamwine,
yes.
He's the one who has put forward to it. And Professor Oroka has commented on its comments. And I'm hoping to invite His Excellency, if he's got time,
your friend,
to launch it,
yes,
when it is published.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you so much for coming and speaking to us. Viewers, because of time constraints, we have come to the end of tonight's show. We thank you so much for your contributions through your SMSs and your text, of course, to 8778. Thank you so much. Join us again next week when we bring you another riveting show. Stay with us.
Good night.